All right, this week I'm going to talk about yet another adventure book. So pretty much an adventure book kick the last few weeks or so. So this week I'm going to talk about the Dragon Heist, Waterdeep. So this, as this title suggests, it's in the city of Waterdeep. Now it actually does come with like a nice, nifty map and everything of the city. And so, like on the back, it also does have like a, I'll do like a real quick one. Like it does have like the same version for the DM and everything. So that one, like the back side has like the DM version has like a several highlights different spots on the map and everything for the DM it's himself or herself. So that way, like the DM map, kind of like it shows you different locations than the actual like player's map does, and like it does. This adventure like takes place in the city of Waterdeep, which is in Forgotten Realms. So with the Forgotten Realms being like the flagship campaign set in for fifth edition, you're going to find like a lot of adventures like that are in it. So like for instance, last week with Rhyme of the Ice Maiden, that's set in like Icewind Dale, which is in Forgotten Realms. This one's in Forgotten Realms as well, like the city of Waterdeep. So yeah, you got like nice artwork and everything to start the book off and everything. So what this actually does is like it starts off in like the end of the Yawning Portal. So I did like there is the adventure book of the Tales from the Yawning Portal. So there's yet another campaign setting that's in Forgotten Realms, and of course, like there's also the Candlekeep Mysteries that I've done. So what's cool about this is it actually gives like a an adventure flow and like a kind of like a adventure flow chart and adventure background. So what's cool about this is like it's an adventure that's set for levels 1 to 5. But what's cool about it is that you have like a lot of like famous NPCs and in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting that you get to meet or go up against and everything. So like for instance, like you start off like I said at the end of the Yawning Portal, and you meet Voltham Goddarp, who's like pretty much like one of the famous adventurers in Forgotten Realms, and so he's the one who pretty much in a sense gets you set up on this whole adventure. And the concept of this is like one of the lords of Waterdeep, who was recently voted out by the council. He had created like he had been embezzling money from the city, so he like in the campaign setting like with Waterdeep, they call gold coins dragons. So like for instance, he in a sense embezzled like 500,000 dragons, or you could say in like in our modern world, he embezzled $500,000 from the city and everything. So like he had created like a little magical item and wiped it like so he could put that as like a key to this vault that he had hid it away in, and then he had the memory of where it was located. That memory wiped from him and all of his servants and everything. So like that way, like if he were to get caught by like a wizard, they couldn't scry and do like a magical means or like even like psionics with like a mind flayer to get the information of where this like $500,000 was. So like he the council member that was voted out was in Neverwinter City, kind of rebuilding there when the council actually like voted him out. So he had sent people in to try and get like the items and stuff out, like all this stuff kind of out, and of course the plan was thwarted. And so like you kind in a sense kind of thrown into like the middle of like a political intrigue right off the bat and everything. So what the cool side on like the villain side of this is that you got several, like I've said, you got several NPCs that you're going to be like meeting or going up against in this adventure and everything. So like there's the Zentarum, the Black Network that you're going to like it's one possible villain. So they give you several different options as a DM to run this, like depending on the season of the year that you're running it. Like you could run it during the winter, spring, summer, or fall, and you get to use different different villains of that those different seasons. But of course, as DM, like if you like one villain versus another, you don't necessarily have to follow the season rules where the Centarum appear in the season of autumn. They also have Jarlax Labanre, who is the head of the Brigade d'Arthe, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of the mercenary group for out of the Drow City Menzoberranzan. So he is another villain that's in this that you can use, and of course there's also Xanathar, the Beholder, who pretty much controls the underground, the black market, and the thieves guild, and he's pretty much like the head of the whole criminal organization of the underworld type of deal. And of course, like he does have the Xanathar's Guide, the book of everything. I mean that I went over like months ago, and so like you can, if you go back in the playlist, you can see that and everything. So that's one of my earlier videos. But so he's yet another villain that you can use and everything. So like there, like I said, there's several different villains that you can use that like kind of like you go about trying and traverse this and trying to get like stop these villains from actually getting that money. And so like you also like have like the possibility of yourselves getting that money and everything. So like you can in a sense set yourselves up to become like important players, or like the kind of like the movers and shakers in Waterdeep in this adventure. So like this one could be like a great as like a standalone, but like with it being like only levels 1 through 5, you could in a sense like quite possibly do it as like a one shot in like a long session and everything, or you could probably break it up into like a few. But what's great is this is it's kind of like a springboard into like the next adventure, which is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which this branch like I said springboards you right into that. That one takes you from like levels 5 to 20. So this is kind of like a, you could in a sense say a 2-for-1 deal. Like you get 2 adventures for one. So like, but of course, like I said, you could run this as like a just an adventure as in and of itself, and then you could go off and do something completely different. So, but like with this being like I said like a 1 to 5, it would be relatively short adventure if you did just this. And so like of course in the back of the book they also have like all the NPCs, like important NPCs that like you run across in this campaign. So like you can see like the different like NPCs, and like of course like they also have like descriptions like one of the members of the high nobility or whatever, and then the Manchun character I mentioned that was part of the Zentarum. He's one of the villains that you could quite possibly go up against and everything. So like and completely gives nice good section on like the whole NPCs that you're running up against and everything. So like this as and what's great is like with the Yawning Portal, they give you like an actual description on like a picture of the Yawning Portal and all the NPCs that are in the actual Yawning Portal. And so like they actually have like them numbered. So like that way, like you have like each NPC that's numbered. You can go in and like into this and kind of like it says like it's. Gives a brief description down here where like you go to like page 224, and it gives you like all the characters that like you run across. And so that's pretty much like after like this section of like the NPCs that you run through the adventure. So like that picture just shows you just the NPCs that like you find just in like the Yawning Portal. So like in the back, like I said, it shows like it's like a kind of like a reduced size of the picture, but it gives you like the names of all the different NPCs that you could essentially talk to when you first start out and everything. So for like something that could be a short adventure, for the being like levels just 1 through 5, it definitely has like a decent amount of like information for it. But of course, where this one shines is that it's also a springboard into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which this one takes you from 1 to 5. That one takes you from like levels 5 to 20. So in a sense, with just 2 adventure books, with this being the start of it, you could in a sense run a whole campaigns from like level 1 to 20. And that's kind of rare with adventure books, because most are like 1 to 10, 1 to 11 or like 1 to 12 or so. Like for instance, like the rhyme the ice maiden last week takes you to like a level 12. People can double check on last week's video to see if it's actually level 11 or level 12. Uh, it could be one of those two, but I know Curse of Strahd only takes you to level 10. So most adventures are in that range from like levels 1 to like 11 or 12, because like a lot of people mentioned that like the game is kind of like in a sense unbalanced after once you start getting into like the upper levels and everything. So of course, as a DM, like if you find stuff that starts to become unbalanced at those upper levels, you as a DM might have to switch tweak things to make them more balanced or something, or like fix any problems in those high levels. But so I think that's my view on why so many adventures only go up. Adventure books only go up to like up to maybe level 12 or 13 at most. But that's why uh, this one as a springboard or as a start into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage would be great, because it's probably one of, if not the one of the few, if not the only ones that actually takes you all the way up to level 20. So next week I'll actually get into the counterpart for this and go over the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is the second part of this.